Are
Angel.
are you ready?
No, like Chris Angel.
I don't know what that. Oh, I know who
You
that
never,
is. I know.
you
Yeah,
never watched Chris Angel's Mind Freak and had your mind freaked?
I've.
Was
I
he,
yes, I have seen that. I yes, yes, I
he's
have.
like, are you ready?
Are you ready? Yes, I have actually seen that before. Okay,
My grandpa loved that show.
really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Also, as your producer, I would like to note that this is episode 69.
Episode 69.
Nice.
There we go. My producer sister wanted me to apparently point out that this is episode 69, which isn't weird at all. Not one
You
bit.
should totally, like when you post it or whatever, like you should put, this is episode 69, nice.
What's that from?
Nice?
Yeah.
Like when you say nice.
Oh,
If
nice.
somebody says 69.
Nice.
It's the rule. Nice.
Yeah. When somebody says like 420 or 69, you have to say nice.
Nice. Well, this is Alex Sturgeon with the Hobbyplex. I don't want to like get into a bunch of short talk early because we got a lot to talk about.
We got long talk.
Yeah, we got a lot. Alex Sturgeon, manager, Hobbytown Hobbyplex in Omaha, Nebraska. Home of the 2009, 11, 16, and 18 Roar Nationals in 10 scale and 8 scale electric, not nitro. Thank God. And with me as always.
Will Brinton.
And what are your credentials, Will Brinton?
Team associated driver, toolmaker, all around halfway decent person, or at least try to be.
Yeah. Same here, most of the time.
8 scale and gas truck thrasher.
Right.
Try and get ready for this weekend.
Yeah. I'm
putting the servo in my e-buggy right now.
Oh, there you go. I'm actually pretty happy because Emerson, the R2 8 scale cars have been ready to go for like 2 weeks. So that's one thing I don't have to worry about.
I might take this to the Plex tomorrow and try to drive it too.
Oh yeah, should totally do that. Hey,
any clay tires I can use?
Nope, I got nothing. Nobody does.
Not even slicks.
I can look, but I doubt it.
Okay.
I think
I might just throw.
I think all the 8 scale tires we have are for outdoor at the moment.
I might just throw some aquas on there.
Yeah.
All today. Just to try to break the drivetrain in, for crying out loud.
Yeah. As always, this show brought to you by Pivot Lending Group. You can find them at pivotlending.com. And if you mention our show, if you talk to Don Zoller or get a hold of Aiden Olson's dad, you get hooked up with a home loan or refinance. You can get $500 lender credit or 0.125 off your interest rate. And my wife and I actually refinanced our house through them recently. So we got that $500 lender credit. It took care of a bunch of stuff that we didn't have to pay for. I'm going to kind of slur my speech tonight because I don't normally work on Mondays. So normally Mondays I sleep until like noon. And that didn't happen. And actually, I even woke up early. I was having this crazy dream. I know we don't want to get off in tangents, but you got to hear this before we talk about Roar stuff. I had this crazy dream that Lenny Kravitz and Angelina Jolie were together and had kids. And I had to pee in their bathroom, but their bathroom was full of clothes, including the toilet. So I was trying to like pick clothes out of the toilet so I wouldn't pee on their clothes. And then I can't remember. I got mad because I was like, this is pointless. And I like gave up. And then I had to like babysit somebody's kid in a car. And then I realized that there was karaoke going on in the bar. And so then I had to go, I was like, you know what? Screw this. So you're going to be here by yourself. And so then I let the kid that I was babysitting, which apparently was Angelina Jolie's kid, in the car. And I had to go to the bar. And I stuck in the back and I tried to like pick a song out. And, I was having trouble. I was getting frustrated because I couldn't pick out the song because every time that I would key in the song into the computer, it would autofill and it kept going to the wrong band and it would never let me get to the right band that I wanted. And so then I got frustrated as well because I was going to try and surprise Lenny Kravitz and Angelina Jolie, and then I couldn't do it. So then I was really upset, and then I woke up. That's all I remember. Very vivid dream, though, the other day. Or this morning. Very vivid. Like I remember it like it was yesterday, kind of.
You remember like it was this morning?
Oh, I do. It's strange. So strange. And I haven't been drinking or anything. So, I mean, it's not like that. It's just this weird dream I had. So anyway, so I've been up for a while, and we're starting late because I had to close the store at 8 o'clock, and I hustled my butt over here. Then there's all this College World Series traffic. Oh, what a day.
Yeah. I had to mow the lawn, and then cat box, take all the trash out. And I came downstairs and started trashing all my stuff.
All right. Let's get into it. The Roarnats. We got to start with that because it's fresh. There's so much to talk about today. It's crazy. I'm trying to think. So our boys did good. Ashton Abdul, I think, finished top 29, top 30. Is that what he said in Buggy?
Yeah, I think so.
I was trying to find him in here, but I couldn't remember what main he was in.
Didn't he win the quarter?
Yeah. Hang on. Whoa, what's that noise?
I plugged in my headphones so Richard doesn't get mad at me.
Okay.
Can you hear me better?
Kind of. It was really loud there for a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Okay. So anyways, well, I mean, I saw his post and it was like, oh yeah, he did do really well. I was proud of him. And then Rinderknecht, I know he made the semis and missed out on the main. The Fullers did pretty good. I think Caden was in the C in Truggy. And Mason made the main.
Yeah, that was pretty big.
Van Dalen made the main. I was kind of on the edge of my seat with him, watching him go, but he pulled it out in the end in the semis. Let's see, who am I missing? Wiggins just missed out. We're so not professional. I'm getting murderized because I left my phone on.
That's okay.
Who am I missing? Who am I leaving out? I mean, Tebow got third. It's pretty awesome. And I'd like to point out that you were totally right. For all of your all of you listeners.
Let me do my drink. Let me just crack a refreshing Coors Light to celebrate Ryan Mayfield. I have two actually, one for each win. For his national championship win.
Double fisting it.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to watch the mains, and the drag racing event yesterday took longer than I thought it was going to take. And so we caught the last half hour maybe of the Nitro main on the way home. We basically listened to it on our phone. Yeah.
I watched it today on my lunch break, honestly.
Yeah, I went.
I was busy.
Last night I went and watched it. I didn't watch the A main, but I watched the semis because I wanted to find out what happened, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, yeah, you were right. Mayfield came out in both of them, even though he had crappy qualifying in Buggy. He still pulled it out there because it doesn't really, as long as you make the semis, it almost doesn't matter.
Yep, I was totally not worried when I saw he was not TQ.
Yeah.
Didn't even care. Don't matter.
But I was kind of right too, wasn't I? In a way.
About what?
Well, I said that it would be. My prediction was that it would be in the top 3, 2 of the normal guys, whether it be Tessman, Tebow, Mayfield. You can throw Dakota or Spencer in that mix, maybe even Cavallari.
Yeah, Dakota's kind of a normal now, right?
Right.
Like we used to consider him kind of the up and comer, but you know, here recently, it's like people don't really say that anymore.
Yeah, but then I was like, there's going to be one surprise, and in this case, it was Aiden Horn.
Yeah.
And to a lot of us, it's not a surprise because he's been fast in all disciplines of RC for a long time. But I don't remember him making the main in a nitro roar race.
I think this might have been the first A main at a substantial nitro event that he's ever made.
Yeah. So I feel like in that regard,
I've been wrong before.
No, I think we're right. But I do feel like we were both right. So there we go.
Yeah, I was more right than you. But
yeah, I know. You called the winner. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mayfield's awesome, and he seems so much like more down to earth lately too. I mean, he's always been very honest when they do the interviews and stuff, but even now he seems more, I guess. But nothing really bad happened to him either, so I guess you would be pretty happy and calm and normal.
Well, yeah, something could have really bad happened to him, but
I know.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get into that.
Yeah, we need to talk about that next. But I also want to give a shout out to Spencer Eckert. That dude.
Yeah.
That dude was marathoning it all day. I wonder what his like fluid levels were at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's just insane. The fact that he bumped up, I think it was the 132nd.
Yeah, something like that.
It's just gnarly. But sometimes that's the way it works too. Okay, so without spending too much more time on that, I just want to congratulate our guys, our local guys for sure, that did really well. It's pretty cool to see Rennernecht mixing it up. Mason Fuller making the main, Van Dalen making the main. Wiggins coming close, even though Wiggins moved to Dallas. He's now in what's that track down there called? NDRC. He's like an NDRC local now.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah,
that's cool. Jackson Anderson just raced there this last weekend.
Yeah. Yep, I saw that. But big props to Ashton for achieving his goal. I think he said he wanted to be top 40, and he ended up being top 30, I think is what I saw in his post.
That's great.
Yeah, especially for not racing for a while. I don't think he's raced at all since the end of the Techno Series.
Well, he's been going to the track that Mason, the Fullers.
Oh, yeah, the compound. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the roar stuff. So, for those of you guys that and I've been trying to figure out what to say on, because who cares about our opinions, to be honest with you. But
yeah, I mean, they really don't matter.
Yeah, they really. I mean, honestly, they really don't. But I mean, I was competition director from 2015 to 2018, and my time, and then I was on the race management team off and on from like 2013 until 2018. No, 2017. I think that was the last one I agreed to do for many reasons. But so I have kind of an insider knowledge of the workings of Roar. Not only that, I was Region 8 director from 2000 to 2003, something like that.
Yeah.
And then occasionally I would get put on a committee of some sort and stuff. And again, my opinion really didn't matter back then. But so I feel like I've got kind of a behind the scenes look at it from the Roar side and from the race management side when it comes to these high profile disqualifications or problems.
Hey, and I have a little bit of insight too.
Yes, you do. You were on race management for the 17 10 scale Nats?
Yeah. And I'm not going to say who it was because I don't want to paint him in a bad light or anything like that, but I had to disqualify a pretty high-profile driver just because his battery was a tenth over voltage.
Yeah.
You know, it sucks. Like, you know, and those guys aren't out to, like, DQ people. The last thing they want is to disqualify somebody. They want everybody to just have a good time, man. But,
yeah,
like, it's the thing that Well, you go ahead. You go ahead.
No, you go. You're on a. You got a thought. Let it go. Let it out.
Well, so it's like getting to the point like with this. I don't know. See, I don't know enough about the material that a tank is made out of. So my understanding, and I might not even have all the information here, but so take that into consideration when you listen to this. But so I don't even know what the material of a tank is made out of exactly. I know it's like a really durable, soft plastic, right? It's designed not to be brittle.
Yeah, because it's got to withstand all the abuse that we put to it.
Right. So my opinion on my understanding is how they test the fuel is they fill up the tank, fill up the lines, and they use a pump to pump air into the tank to displace the fuel, and that's what they put into a beaker, and then they measure it out of the beaker, right? They pump it into a beaker. So and I don't know if I haven't seen it. I wasn't there. I don't know. But my opinion is like on like the way they're doing it, would that be enough? Like we're talking like 2 PSI would be enough to push that tank, or to be enough to push the fuel out of the tank. So like anything over that, is probably going to just push the lid off. Like it's going to like use that as kind of like a relief, right? It's going to relieve the pressure through the lid of the tank. So to say that it's displacing the air is displacing the tank to the point that it's expanding or stretching it. I don't know if I believe that. I mean, it could happen, I guess. But I mean, this is something like the Roar guys, they're all 8-scale on-road guys by nature, right? Well, very like methodical, very like it should work this way, Like if they were doing it for like on-road nats and with the kind of the racing pedigree that all those guys have, I mean, why wouldn't it work here, and why would it be any different? So I'm not saying that the guys that were disqualified were cheating. Like I don't feel like anybody would ever cheat, like at that level. It's like when you drive for the factory, you don't cheat. It's one of those like kind of unwritten rules. Like when you're driving for a manufacturer, like you drive for the manufacturer, you don't cheat. Like it's just not something you should ever do. And because I used to get accused of cheating in kart racing all the time, and still do. Like there's still people that are like, oh, that guy, he's such a cheater, back in 15, 20 years ago stuff. And it gets old, and I never cheated. I was just good. But this is something that it's almost like, I was thinking about it today. It's like they need to, like, it's going to get to the point where it's like, all right, so it's an hour-long main. You have a mandatory 5 pit stops you have to make. It doesn't matter how big your tank is. You have to stop for fuel like this many times. But then you get guys that just open the tank up and shut it or whatever. But like that would totally like negate. Like you could have a tank that's 50 cc's over, and like it's not going to matter because you have to pit this many times, and it's small enough to the point where you would need fuel. Like to go a fuel stint. You couldn't just run. Keep running. Yeah. You're running out of gas. But like if you have a mandatory minimum pit stops you have to hit, it's just to me, like that makes the most sense. Then you can do whatever you want, like within reason. Like there should still be a fuel limit. Like you couldn't run like 3 tanks or something. But even then, you just be screwing yourself. Yeah. Just like so it's like you get to this point where it's like, all right, you can run your fuel limit is minus nothing plus 50, cc's, but you have to pit this many times. All right, problem solved. Nobody has to worry about fuel mileage, and everybody, like, nobody will get disqualified. Like, because that's the last thing they want to do. I know these guys. They're all really good guys. And the guys that were, like, making fun of the way they look and things like that, you guys are so stupid and prejudiced. I hate you. Like, I really hate you guys. Because, like, because those are some of the sweetest, nicest guys you'd ever meet in your life. And to just judge them like that. I saw the comments last night. It just really pissed me off.
Okay, so
and I didn't say anything.
And that's why I'm glad I'm not on the Roar XCOM anymore. And the reason why I'm not on the XCOM anymore is because of majority of it was from the comments.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that people acted towards Roar officials. That's why I'm not on the XCOM anymore. I personally, I couldn't handle it. I was over it because people that I thought were my friends were on there basically getting personal. And it broke my heart, you know? And so I just didn't want, I'm done. I didn't want anything to do with it. So I think in many ways, rules are rules. I do feel sometimes, though, that from the behind the scenes look at it, things happen very slowly at Roar.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we want to change how we tech tanks, right? So they said how there's a difference between IFMAR and Roar. That I feel like that needs to be open. I bet you the Roar XCOM, I haven't been on it in several years, like I said. But I bet you it's been discussed, but no action's been taken. And that was also frustrating being on the XCOM, and every month we'd have the same meeting, and every month we'd talk about the same stuff, and not a lot of it would ever actually get done.
Yeah.
And so I bet that's been just see I'm how hyped up right now about it. Like I'm shaking. Yeah. I'm almost shaking because I'm so pissed at some of these comments, you know?
Yeah. Well, and like, you know, like maybe, okay, so was it like Ty and Cole were the first two to get teched and they were the first two DQ'd?
Yes.
The first two that were for sure over.
When I wanted to watch the interviews because I wanted to know the viewpoints. I know that Ty and Cole both got interviewed, and what Cole said made sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were the first ones to get teched, so their cars were the hottest.
Mm-hmm.
And so then that's how that changed. Now, I got to ask you a question. Can you achieve the same effect and get the same amount of fuel out of your car by just setting the car on the starter box and having the flywheel turn and shove the fuel out?
You could. You'd run the engine dry. Well, yeah, you probably could. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I don't know what those guys were using for pressure. You know, are they using like 50 psi? Well, that's too much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's almost like they need to put a gauge on the outlet of a really sensitive gauge on the exhaust pressure, you know, side of the tank and see what that pressure is coming out.
Yeah.
In order to pump the tank up. Because, and that's what it is, you know. I mean, it's like, so if your car's that hot, like let's say, okay, so your tank gets that hot to the hot point that it's so hot it just forms from air pressure. Like, couldn't your tank essentially just like settle like in the car while it's getting that hot? Like just from the weight of the fuel pushing down,
yeah.
Like and start sagging. You know, like people that have molded their own Lexan bodies understand what sag is, right?
Yeah.
So like that amount of sag, like the tank gets hot, and it just kind of disforms in the car from regular use. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely possible. I mean, how much were they even over? Was it like 2 cc's?
Ty said it was like half. Like
half
it was,
a cc?
Yeah, like it was over by or something so minuscule. I don't know about Cole. The hot bodies tanks are always over, so they have to actually do stuff to them. Like the Losi tanks were over. I remember I was always when I went to the 2010 Nats in Colorado. I was like Kevin came around. He's like, make sure that you put your limiter in there because our tanks are over without that. So we had to make sure, but But yeah, I mean, it was both over the line. But I can see where Cole's coming from. How do I put this? At the Plex, I've had to make some crappy decisions as a race director. I've learned to when you make a decision, stick to it. You know, be open to, I guess, discussion. But if it makes sense to you and that's what you're going to go with, just say it. This is what we're doing. You know, the biggest thing that I can think of is in 2016 when I had my practice schedule up on Wednesday. A high profile member of a not a really, he was a driver, but came up to me and was like, "This is wrong. You got to do it this way." And I was like, "No, I've already laid this out. I've already made the printouts. Everything's out. Everybody knows what's going on. I'm not going to change it now. I've made my decision." You know?
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going with that. A couple things.
It's not going back on what you've already decided.
Right, and it kind of sucks because, like, I think part of the problem that I saw when I was watching this unfold, you know, like I said, I went back and I watched it, was it took a while.
Yeah.
You know? And so then that's when all the rumors circulate, because instead of just being, "You guys are over," it seemed like it was, "You guys are over, but we're going to give you another 10 minutes or another test." And then after that, It was, "You guys are over, but we're going to give you a little bit," you know, unfortunately, if that rule has to be the way it is, you just got to stick to it. And then, you know, that's what it is. Oh, I know where I was going. The other thing too is well, I mean, there's two main guys, but one of those main guys has had several run-ins with Roar. A lot.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And it seems like, I don't know. I don't know. We both know Steve McLaughlin and Jeff Parker, those guys, they're not out to get anybody.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I was in that position and I'd been disqualified a couple times in the past for, you know, the tread on my tires making my truggy lighter, maybe I would look at it and go, and you have a car with a fuel tank that's known to be a little bit over. Maybe I would take an extra step to make sure.
Yeah.
That I wasn't.
Even Mayfield said that he was worried that he was going to be too close, and then did some, you know, I don't know if he put another tank limiter in his car or what, but he said he did something to make sure it was going to make fuel.
Yeah. And Adam Drake's interview was really good too. If you haven't seen his take on it, it was, it's on Live RC.
What did he say? I need to check it out.
He basically said, you know, kind of said that, you know, the rules are rules thing, but also like, we know how they're going to text, so we know, or at least him and his team knew that they needed to take extra scrutiny to their tanks to make sure that in this heat that they would come off legal, and that he was very, very close, even with all that scrutiny.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. I mean, I mean, like I said earlier, the last thing those guys want to do is disqualify somebody. It's not like they get all like hot and bothered over getting somebody disqualified. Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm just like sick of those guys getting painted in a bad light over stuff when they're just doing their job. Like, if they're over, it's over. What else can they do? They've been, you know, they tested umpteen thousand tanks that weekend. And, I mean, it's kind of like it's your responsibility to make sure you're right.
I guarantee.
Not that close.
I also guarantee that they were not the only ones to get disqualified.
Yeah.
You just don't hear about it.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee that somewhere in that whole line of off-road cars, somebody else got disqualified for being over on fuel.
Right.
But you don't hear about that. It's only the two guys, obviously, that we want to see race in the main. And again, it's, and that's the other thing too. What if they did let him pass?
Yeah,
and
then
somebody
you gotta
and
let
somebody
everybody go.
and somebody saying like the 164th main or 128th main or whatever didn't.
Mhm.
So you're saying that they just because they're Ty Tessman, they get a pass on 1cc over or whatever it was.
You know, and that's one thing I like about Roar. It don't matter who you are.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
You know, it really don't matter who you are, man.
The crazy thing, like, so the 2017 Nitro Roar Nats that I announced, I was the announcer for that race, like changed me. Like it made me reevaluate my whole identity in RC. And I came to the decision that weekend that I was done being sponsored guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't want to be affiliated with some of these guys that I had seen act in such an inappropriate way that weekend, that I was just fed up with it. I could not believe how badly the Roar people were treated at that race.
Yeah.
And again, people that I thought were my friends were just shitting on me just because I was wearing a red shirt. So I was just done. I was like, I'm done with this. I'm over it. But I can tell you that, like, for instance, Ogden got a lap deducted for not marshaling that morning. Okay?
Yeah.
We disqualified more than 20 people that day for not marshaling.
Mm-hmm.
But you never hear about it. They think that a lot of the talk, I remember that weekend, a lot of the talk was, well, they just singled out him. No. We disqualified a lot of people for not marshaling. Everybody gets the same treatment. But you just didn't hear about it because they were in lower mains. A lot of them were pro drivers that had a crappy weekend and just said, nah, I'm not going to marshal, and went back to the pits. And I was just sitting there disgusted by it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I think my feeling on this whole thing is I wish we could just have a Roar Nats without any controversy at all.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to do, I think the next time that this the next big race that we have, I feel like tech should be behind closed doors, like what Scotty was talking about on the live RC broadcast.
Well,
There's
problem with that.
There's two ways to look
The
at
problem-
it, because then you get people saying that Roar is purposely getting that guy.
Well, and you have the other thing is, you know, like I was saying, everything's really cut and dry with Roar. Nobody gets a special treatment.
Yeah.
Well, then you're going to have people saying, well, that guy just got through because of who he is, that kind of thing behind the closed door.
Aren't they in such a weird catch-22? If you do it one way,
Yeah.
then you're letting everybody see the process and it's full transparency. But if you do it the other way, because of that full transparency, people will sit there and go, we're supposed to trust this guy, and it's Jeff Parker, you know, holding up a beaker as race director. He's sitting there, he's making sure that, in fact, yes, you're over. But because of the way that he's looking at it, he gets scrutinized even deeper.
Right.
You know, it's tough. That's such a crappy position to be in. That's why I'm glad I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
Just
I don't know if I'd ever do it again.
I have enough stress in my own track. I don't need the whole nation stressing out on me, giving me a panic attack.
Yeah.
So
I don't think those guys get enough credit, you know?
Oh, and then the other thing that I wanted to say about this topic in general was the one thing that we've had in Roar races since the race management team was introduced was consistency. So for the most part, it's been when there is changeover, the changeover is maybe one person at a time. There's not just a big gigantic change in management when it comes to the race management team that's put together. So I remember when race management wasn't around. Okay? So if you think it's bad now, what if we didn't? I mean, and a lot of these people don't want to have the race management team anymore, which is silly, in my opinion. But, you know, every race before like 2008 was different. Every race.
Yeah.
Every race had different tech. Some things got enforced, some didn't, even though it was in the rules. The officials that were there would treat things differently sometimes based on who you were. I mean, I'm guilty of it. I don't want to, you know.
It's kind of like, you better let that guy go because I don't want to have to deal with him.
Right. Or like, you know, you better let that guy go because that guy drives for the sponsor of the race.
No.
You know, stuff like that. So with Roar, you really don't get that. I saw one of the comments was like, follow the money. I'm like, are you kidding me?
What money?
What money? First off, yeah, what money? Second off, if there was money, where's my cut from the 4 years that I was on the, where's my back pocket, my kickback? Damn it.
I saw that one too. It's like, dude, they're volunteers. They're volunteers.
They're getting paid. They're getting paid $1,200 to be there for 5 days. 5 days of just literally having people come up to him with their pants down and crapping all over him. $1,200. That's all they get. That's how much Roar race management team members get, or $1,250, whatever it is. It's a ridiculously low amount of money for the amount of crap that they are putting themselves into. Mm-hmm. So, yeah,
it's like you guys are
sucks.
getting paid.
Yeah, that totally sucks. I mean, you know, I don't know if I'd want to do it anymore. Honestly, if they asked me to announce a certain race, like maybe the Hondo Nats or something, I would probably do it because I enjoy it. But I wouldn't want to have any part of being official, like on the Roar side. It's bad enough to have to announce stuff.
Yeah.
You know. But I don't know. That's kind of where I was going with that. Like 2003, I was hired to announce the Mod Nats, and that was a blast. I had a ton of fun. Kevin Hetmansky from Car Action was in the booth with me all weekend, and you know, he probably doesn't remember me, but that's fine. But like we were laughing like nonstop. It was so much fun. Gretchen was there, just hanging out with us. And and they made everybody spray paint their wings. That it was a rule that hadn't been enforced in ages. You were supposed to have a painted wing.
Oh, really?
And there was no hobby shop. And the Roar official there basically made everybody paint their wing. It was the most stupid thing ever. That was pre-race management team. Now we can scuff our wings, but in 2003 that wasn't legal because the guy said so. So. You know, I mean, it's a tough thing. There are problems. I hope that they reevaluate how they do the tanks. Maybe there's a different method. To be honest with you, I'm not even sure what the IFMAR method is. But a lot of the pro drivers that go to the Worlds know what that method is, so maybe they can look at it and change how they do it. So it eliminates. If somebody is over, maybe it'll eliminate the controversy of them being over, of being as Roar's fault. And you know, maybe that's something that they seriously need to look at. I hope they do. I hope they make a change. To be honest, like, okay, so the 1 year, the two, was it Cole and Ryan that got DQ'd for being underweight and truggy because their tires wore down?
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened? They changed the weight of truggy. So it happened slowly, but eventually that got fixed. So hopefully we can get there, you know?
I'm sure we will.
I just want to see one of these Roar Nats without anything crazy.
I mean, we're racing RC cars here. It's supposed to be a good time.
It is. I mean, it's their jobs, though, you know? I mean, that probably cost Ty quite a bit of money. Because wasn't he going to start right behind? Well, he wouldn't have started first because Dakota was first, but...
Even Mayfield says he still does RC for fun.
That's true. No, you're right. No. So there you go. Is that our hot take on that? Are we good with that? You think, or you want to?
Yeah, that's a pretty nice hot take.
All right. So Roar Nats, the whole tech thing. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, okay. So here we go. You ready for this one? We might not get to race results tonight. Well, maybe how much? I don't know how long we've been on.
I got you. 40 minutes.
So we're 40 minutes in? Okay. So I'll try to squeeze this in. Okay, dude. What's the deal? Did you see what dropped today? AKA purchased by Horizon Hobby.
Yeah, they're just buying everything.
What the heck?
Yeah.
That
Buckle
came
up,
completely out of
Buttercup.
left field. Bucker up,
Yeah.
buckaroos.
Yeah, exactly.
How is that even going to work? If they own Proline and now they own because that's what that means, right? They bought AKA, right?
Right. So my take on that is they're still two separate companies. You know, like there's still two companies that operate independently. It's almost like you have to look at Horizon Hobby as an investor.
Okay.
And if you had a company, and I can't speak for them, you know, I can't say anything because I don't know anything. But if you had a company, we'll say that maybe can't come out with new stuff, or let's just say a company that needs investment, right? Well, the only way for a company for somebody to invest in that is to own the company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that, they want higher return on their
Investment.
I don't want to say risky, but on their investment. They want a higher return on their investment, right? So if you had a company that wasn't necessarily making enough money and needed cash flow to have new products, this would probably be the best way to get an investor, is to have them actually own the product. And you don't necessarily know what that even looks like behind the scenes. You know what I mean? So the way that I could see this working is, and this could be for either Proline or AKA, I don't know, or any other company they buy, Arma, whatever. Let's say they come out with a whole bunch of new product, either one of them, and it flops. Well, that's not something you're going to invest in, is it?
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, or it could go the other way. They're like, hey, here's this cash flow. We want you to tool this up, go all the way with this product, and we want to see where you can take it. You sell it. It works out well. You know, it's the most popular item in the industry. And then you get to keep making more of these cool items. You know, it could potentially save a company.
Yeah.
So that's my take on it, you know, and I don't know if that's the case for either one of them. I have no idea. This is just a guess.
I can tell you that they put a lot behind the Proline acquisition. Like they really pressed that it was a good thing to the hobby stores. And it's weird. I've been seeing all these people say that like no Proline's gotten problems with Proline getting stuff in stock. Honestly, we haven't seen that at all. It's actually gotten better. Because last year, Proline had nothing. You couldn't find 10 scale positrons to save your life. Mm-hmm. And now, I mean, we have them on open order. So even though we order a lot of them, we're able to replenish what we sell. Whereas it wasn't the case there for a little while, especially.
Yeah, maybe there for a while everything was out of stock, and now they have that cash flow where they can actually, fill the molds. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
have prepare more before they sell more, type of thing.
Yeah. I don't think this is an end of the world situation if you're an AK fan. It is going to be interesting though with the pro drivers. That's my first thought. Like, you know, because like I'm thinking Tebow, right? He's one of the remaining big dogs that had a kind of a not Proline, not J Concepts deal.
Yeah.
Wiggins is AKA big time. Trying to think of others, but that was my first thought. I didn't even care about supply or anything like that. I was like, holy crap, what are these guys going to do? Not that we should care, I guess, but it's just chatter.
Right.
You know? I saw somebody said Horizon is buying the Plex too. No, they are not.
No.
Although
that never happened.
Although because they're 80% of distribution now. I mean, we kind of in a roundabout way. Anyways, so I saw that today. I know that you've had in the past you've had communication with Gilosi Jr. quite a bit. I know.
I have no idea.
And
nope,
but nowadays,
no input.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I always thought was really cool when he was helping Hobbytown out.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was a good time.
Yeah. AKA Steve RC wants to know. I'm purposely not going to the chat very often because I don't want to get off track. But he wants to know what AKA makes, and AKA makes tires.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. I mean, I think they focus more on the 8-scale side than the 10-scale side. Even though you'll see some clay compound scribbles being used by a few guys at the Plex.
Yeah.
On a regular basis. Rob Connor and Mitchell Pavel are two that come to mind.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think it's the end of the world for AKA. Everybody thought it was going to be the end of the world for Proline, and I think just based on the open stock that I see when we make orders, I don't necessarily see anything bad out of it. I don't think the prices have gone up crazy at all. I think there's been some normal price increases because supply is so crappy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, we're gonna switch gears here.
Yeah,
because I got all like hyped up about the Nationals thing again. I got to stop doing that. So, did you see what Emerson did yesterday?
Yeah, you told me about it. Yeah.
Okay, so, Team Associated, got me on back order for a DR10 kit last year, like September. We sponsored the Ottawa drag strip with a small sponsorship, and one of the things about it was we were supposed to have a small section of somewhere, like one of the small section of runway to do some like demos.
Yeah.
And so I called up Team Associated. I was like, hey, this is what we're doing. I'm like, you think you could help us out? And they're like, yeah, we'll send you a DR10. I'm like, freaking sweet. Well, the DR10 didn't show up until January.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a DR10, and I'm like, all right, this is awesome. So I put some J Concepts goodies on it. I got the brass stuff for the front end, and now I need to get the cool J Concepts wheelie bar. Now that I've actually done it, I want to get the wheelie bar.
Gotta have that.
So then, I hadn't really had a chance to even use it. Maybe once or twice I got it out and tested it a little bit, and was like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. Well, then I saw that I had a Sunday off. I had yesterday off, Father's Day, because I have to work today, which I don't normally work today, and then I work tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we're going to regionals. So I looked and I'm like, holy crap, the Missouri Valley drag racing is going on that same day. I'm like, we should do this. I've never done this before. Let's do this. So I got to tell you, I got more hyped up about this than I have gotten in a long time for racing.
Yeah.
I was truly excited to do something because I've never done it before. I went in clueless. I had no idea what I was doing, to be honest with you. I put a 3.5 in my car. I put a speed controller I had laying around in my car, and I did a little bit of testing on the Holiday Bright Lights parking lot where it's flat and smooth, and just got my car to go straight. And I was happy. I was like, all right, my car's going straight. I'm good. I don't know how fast I am, but my car goes straight. Well, then Losi hooked us up with a 22 no prep for the channel. So I'm like, holy crap, now we got a second car. So Emerson, we decided that we were going to race the 13.5 class. Emerson bought a J Concepts body from the store because we were just out of time to order anything. And I put a 13.5 in it. I got from Jason Haley, which is really fast, by the way, Jason. Thank you. And speed controller, got it all ready to go. And Emerson got the body. He painted it himself, and he stickered it all up, tried to make it look like a drag car and everything. And then we took some practice laps, passes in front of our house, which is kind of flat, on Saturday night after races as it was getting dark. we got his car to go straight. And so we just packed everything up and got ready to go. And we went out there. And as soon as practice opened up, I went over there and did some passes. And at first my car wasn't going straight. And I was like, oh, crap. But then it was all tires. Honestly, you would love it as a tire guy. I bet you, like you say, like we don't race cars, we race tires. Mm-hmm. I think in this case, for sure, absolutely, a lot of it's just making sure your tires are good to go. But let me tell you stuff. The sticky stuff that they're using, tire compound, I don't know how you can not get your tires good using that stuff. It is so freaking sticky and aggressive. I can't see
like molasses, huh?
It has a distinct smell, and I bet you if you smelled it, you'd be able to tell me what it is. But it's got a very distinct smell, and I'm like, I know this smell, but I can't put my finger on what it is. So we're gonna try to get some of that stuff in for the store to sell, because I also owe Bob Hamilton a bottle of it because we used a lot of his tire sauce.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did. But anyways, so Emerson, he practiced a lot, and we seemed really happy. I had no idea how fast his car was. I kind of guessed on the gearing. We geared it stock spur gear. No. Yes, stock. Wait, was it stock spur gear? No, 76 low C spur gear with a 32 tooth pinion gear, and a Hobbywing 13.5 G3 motor with the timing just cranked up. And he ran the car, the low C22 stock, out of the box. We made some changes. We made some changes to the springs, to the rear shocks, not the springs. So the rear shocks on the 22 are kind of weird. They had this giant piece of fuel tubing as a limiter on the inside of it, and a giant piece of fuel tubing on the outside of it. So the rear end of this car has like maybe, 5 millimeters of overall travel. Yeah. And it to me, it made the car, I felt bound up. I for a minute, I thought that the zip ties were still like holding the car in the box. Mm-hmm. So I took off those shocks. I took all that crap out of there. Not crap, but I took all that stuff out of there, and I left in a tiny little limiter in the shocks, maybe 3 millimeters. I filled it with 2,000 weight diff fluid, stock springs. I moved the shocks out on the tower and out on the arm, and then another little problem happened where if you have the gear cover on, when the car drops on throttle, the drive shaft hits the gear cover.
Really?
So I had to run it without a gear cover. Yeah. So, we just got a super chat from Trevor Paul, by the way, for $10.
Ooh, Trevor.
With no question either. That's pretty awesome. Thank you. If you ask a question, we'll answer it. But it's Trevor. He's probably just like, these guys deserve $10.
Thanks, Trevor.
My first race, so this is crazy. So what they do is I raced Outlaw and Emerson raced 13.5, and then we both raced this bracket. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'll try to explain all this. Anyways, so my first race, they put you in a line, and then they draw these balls out, and they have a number. So if you're in row 2, and then they go to, he'll say row 3, and then he'll pull another ball out and say number 2. And if you're the second guy in line, you're the guy that gets to go. So it's all random. Mm-hmm. I got placed with the guy who won the thing. My first race.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So $20 entry fee, my first race. I had already practiced against this guy, and I was like, there's no way I'm beating that guy. And my first race is up against this guy. And maybe I just mind screwed myself. You know how I was beaten before the race even started?
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm up to the line, and this guy, I can't remember his name, but he is amazing on the tree. He has got it down. His reaction time must be flawless, because by the time I saw the green, this guy was halfway down the strip.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, well, okay, I might as well just taken a $20 bill, put it up to a lighter and went, you know, like there goes my $20. See ya. Bye. So it was a $5 buyback. So I bought back in on that one. Emerson goes up there and he wins his first race.
Really?
Yes.
Is it 13.5 or open?
13.5.
Okay.
So then we race bracket, and bracket's really cool because basically you go up there and you say your breakout time, okay? And if you go under your breakout time, you lose.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a kid, he was in the finals with a TRX 6.
Okay.
I don't know what his breakout time was, but it had to be like 10 seconds. Okay?
Really?
So this kid gets a 10-second head start, and then let's say it's me. Well, my breakout time, the fastest I could go on that day was a 2.6. So I'd tell him, okay, I'm going to go with 2.6. So I had to start, I started like 7.8 seconds or something behind him. So my tree goes off, and then I'm supposed to chase him down. And in theory, we're supposed to cross the line basically at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I won my first race in bracket, and Emerson won his first race in bracket. And I'm like, oh, this is pretty fun, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I buy back in Outlaw. I win my first race after that. Luckily, I did not have to go against this guy again, even though he was... When they called his name, I was just sitting there, God, oh, God, not 2 times in a row. Please, 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 please. So it didn't happen. So then the second round came. Emerson won again. I won my second race after the buyback, and basically this was my my glory run. Okay, so you know how, have you ever played golf?
No.
Okay.
Miniature golf.
Miniature golf?
Never,
okay. All right. So I used to try to play golf. Okay. And I was really bad at it. Sucked at it. I'm fat. I'm out of shape. I really didn't like it, but I liked it. But what would happen was I would say I'm going to quit, and then I'd get that one perfect tee.
Hole in one.
No, not a hole in one, but just put me right in the middle of the fairway. Like the one really good shot. And it makes you think, if I just do that the whole time, we're good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's what this run was. My reaction time was 0.002.
Is that good?
That's really good. Because the guy that I was going up against, I think is one of the better people there. I think it should have been the guy that won the whole thing versus this other guy.
Mm-hmm. And
I knew that, and I'm thinking in my head, you know what? Just redline it. Like, just guess. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I know my car's going to go straight, so let's just try to beat the clock or the tree. And I got video of it, and you can see me get a better launch off the line. The other guy's reaction was 0.26, so I started 0.2 ahead of this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I won, and I couldn't believe I won. And so then the next round I got a bye because there was 5 of us. And so then I ended up getting beat by the same fast guy again because Bob Hamilton made the finals because he got a bye because there was 3 of us. He hadn't gotten a bye yet, so you can't get more than one bye. So I had to face off against God, I can't remember his name. I feel really dumb. I'm really terrible with names. Anyways, the point is I had a super fun time. Officially, I finished 3rd. You can only buy back 1 time. So if you got beat right away in the first round, you could buy back in for the second round. After that, no more buybacks. Otherwise, they'd be there forever. Right?
That's too bad.
Yeah. So I felt pretty good about that. I actually did better than what I expected. This was one of those deals where I didn't really care where I finished. I kind of knew I was going to buy back in, so I brought cash with me just in case. But
do you accept check?
Kind of. I made sure they accepted cards. I had to buy some pinion gears. Anyways, Emerson kept winning. Emerson made it to the finals of 13.5. And then Emerson and I both made it to the semifinals of the bracket race, and we had to race each other. So his name got drawn, then my name got drawn. So it was father versus son. It was freaking awesome. It was super fun. I got video of it. It's going to be in one big video. I used my new camera. Now I have to learn the editor, so it might take me a little while because I'm slow. But I will get a video up of this event. It was a ton of fun. I had him. I had Emerson. He actually got me on the tree, but my car was a mod, so I chased him down. But then it got super duper windy right before this race. We're talking like 40 or 50 mile an hour winds. And
Perfect storm.
dude, you can see my car. I drifted over and I tried to correct it. My wheels must have been up off the ground because I couldn't correct it. And you know, what did you call that? The disqualifier thing in the middle?
The disqualification ramp.
Yeah, I hit that. And my car went like 15 feet in the air and like 40 feet long, and I landed on the back of it. It's pretty sick. So Emerson was like,
Yeah,
ha 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 in your
cool.
face. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So Emerson won that, and then he was in the finals of bracket. He had to face off against a kid with the TRX-6 crawler. And because the wind was coming from the northwest, this kid, I was at the finish line. The kid crossed first, but he broke out of his time
What?
because he got pushed.
He's drag racing a rock crawler?
Yeah, he dragged racing. He had like a 10-second lead, and he broke out his he went faster than his breakout time because he got pushed. The wind helped him out. It was crazy. Okay, so Emerson won bracket, $190 for that. So then 13.5 was the last race of the night, and it was a really good, close race. I thought Emerson had won. The light flashed green on Emerson's side, showing that he had won, but the other side, the sensor, the finish line sensor, stopped working. And so they had to take a second, and I think Bob's wife was filming on the other end at the finish line. So they tried to review the tape. Well, she was kind of in a bad angle. She wasn't actually at the finish line. She was in front of it. And at first they said that the other person had won. I can't remember her name either. It was a girl.
Yeah.
But then they reviewed the tape, and Emerson won by car length. He actually was behind, but we had him geared a certain way, I guess. You know, where we were playing with his car out in the yard afterwards, and it's really fast on the top end. So
Yeah.
he started right behind her, was probably 1 or 2 car lengths back, and then chased it down and ended up finishing just ahead of it. So for that, he won $90 because there was only 7 people in 13.5. So my son took home $280 freaking dollars from this thing, and I got nothing. It was Father's Day. I got 0, zilch, nada. Sorry about your luck. You suck.
He didn't even like get you anything, I'm sure.
No, I was like, dude, you're taking me to Hooters for Father's Day. And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm like, dude, come on. Father's Day Hooters trip, and you're buying. That's what you do when you win that much money.
Man,
Yeah.
just when I thought you were raising a good kid.
Dude, sometimes he can be kind of a douche canoe. Sometimes.
What? Why? Is he there?
No, he's not here.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just thought that was really funny. Like, no, I'm keeping it.
Well, I did. Okay, so I did make him pay for his 13.5 entry, but I paid for his bracket entry. So in that regard, I don't have to owe him anything. He wanted me to pay him his $20 back, and I'm like, no, you just won $280. Go screw yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
He still, like, after he won, he wanted you to pay him back.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's a, yeah, whatever.
He gets that from you.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he probably does. All right. Producer, how long have we been on?
1 hour.
I don't know.
1 hour?
Oh, go ahead.
1 hour. We've been on 1 hour. You want to take a pivot break, and then we'll talk about the Saturday Truck Series real fast, and we'll talk about your gas truck, and then we'll take a question or two, and then we'll get out of here.
Sure. Sounds
All right.
good.
Why don't we do that? Producer?
Got it.
Okay.
How long is it?
I think 2 minutes.
She thinks.
sounds
Richard's
good.
not here. He's at home sleeping.
Aw.
Yeah.
Sleeping like a baby.
Yep, I would. That's what I would do.
Okay, we ready?
Yeah, we're ready to go.
Yeah.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
This is a Pivot Lending Update with David Olson and Don Zoller. Get some.
This is David Olson with Pivot Lending Group. Today is May 10th, 2021, and we are going to be talking about temporary financing. Pivot Lending Group works with several credit unions, community banks across the Midwest and on the West Coast, soon to be on the East Coast, that we're teaming up with to have an alternative to your traditional bridge mortgage. In a bridge situation, you would be purchasing your future home as well as retaining your departing property for a short period of time until that property sells. And on your home that you'd be purchasing, you would have long-term financing. And then once your loan on the home that you sell gets paid off, then everything's a wash. Great programs, tons of great bridge programs out there. The downside to a traditional bridge is you end up in a situation for potentially 1 or 2 months, maybe longer than that, of having two mortgage payments. You have the mortgage payment on the property that you're purchasing, and then you still have the mortgage payment on the property that you bridged out to help you with that purchase. Teaming up with our financial institutions, credit unions, and the community banks on the temporary side, we can come in, lend the money to purchase the new home, and then bundle everything together on your primary house that you're selling, on the new home, and put it into just one master note. And then you have one monthly payment on that master note. And potentially you can even have deferred payment to the end of the term, the short-term term, until that house is sold. So really excited about that. Gives you guys opportunities to come in and to put yourself ahead of the line with some of the other buyers, because you can come in, contract quickly without a lot of additional conditions or requests with the seller. Makes you really, really attractive. There are some things that you have to have in order to qualify for it. You know, obviously equity is a big one, pretty strong credit and those sorts of things. If you have any questions on that program, feel free to give me a call, 402-881-5951, and we can walk you through and show you the differences between a traditional bridge loan and temporary financing.
David Olson, NMLS 16099. Don Zoller, NMLS 277589. Pivot Lending, NMLS 109995.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
All right. No, this is the time of the show where I normally open up a Kickstart, but I've already had 2 today, and this is my 3rd, so I think I'm going to leave the other one that I had in line here for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like, 9 o'clock, 9:30?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Probably time to knock that off
I know.
for the evening.
Do you want a water?
No, I'm good. Thank you. Okay. So we had a pretty good race weekend. There was like 30-something entries on Friday night. I think they had an e-buggy class again with e-truggy kind of mixed in there. And then Saturday was our first Saturday truck series. This is something that's been brewing in my head for a while. With all the different classes and not being able to take all of them in the summer series. Otherwise, we'd be there until like midnight.
Yeah.
I kind of like thought, well, maybe, maybe let's do something with just trucks. And this would give us gave us a chance to bring back, say, like the stock slash class, which I had a ton of fun in, and gas truck,
Which I have a ton of fun in. Usually, unless I don't destroy a transmission, like that one time I TQ'd the Byron's race and had a 2 or 3 lap lead, my transmission stripped.
Yeah, that was devastating.
Hey, who remembers that?
Yeah. No gas trucks at this one. Nobody had them ready yet.
Yeah, that was my big deal.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Next round there'll be some though.
Mm-hmm.
So we had 44 entries. We had Plex Spec Beginner. We had Pro 2 short course truck / Spec Pro 4 short course truck, 13.5 and mod truck. We combined them into one heat, and then mini truggy. And the biggest classes of the day were Pro 4 and mini truggy. It was like It was like 2012 or 13 all over again. Let's see. So, with that being said, in Plex Spec, it was the only class where we allowed buggies this weekend. Cole Webb was your TQ, but Eli Webb won.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so the green Losi knocked out the blue Associated car. And then Diego Quintana was third in his Pro 4 short course truck. And then you had the Haleys. You had Sawyer in front of Riker. And then Eli Vanderleest, who was, I believe, Tom Baker's either grandkid or nephew or something like that. I think it's grandkid.
Yeah.
And with a slash that was bought that day at the Plex.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep. And then Andrew Zhang was going to finish higher, but he ended up he broke a rear hub twice. And so, unfortunately, Andrew, but he said he'd be back on Saturday. So, and he was in the store today too. Bought some stuff, getting some other cars ready to go. His girlfriend was there with him. Pro 2 short course truck. So first time I would say we've had 13.5 short course truck, but not technically Pro 2 where it's kind of open. Ashley McCormick was your TQ, but Tyler Fleming took the win. And then Chili Duncan finished third. Jake Poteet was fourth. And Emerson Sturgeon, I kind of made him run. We have a 22 ready to run. You know those line of Losi 22 ready to runs that aren't really 22s, but they call them 22s?
Yeah.
So we have one of those. And I've driven it a few times, and it handles really good. It's a rear motor. And I thought it'd be funny to take that to like a national race mod short course. Because usually there's like 6 entries in mod short course nowadays.
Yeah.
It would just be fun to take that and say I made the main, you know. Anyways, Emerson did not like driving it, so he finished 5th. Andrew Zhang was broken out. He basically was running back to back with the same truck. Okay, then Slash Spec was a lot of fun. I TQ'd. I had a really good second qualifier. We raced our qualifiers heads up. But in the main, Dustin Hosick snuck in there on the last 3 turns and took the win.
That's awesome.
And that's a slash that he bought that day as well.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, super fun. Chili Duncan got
in my lead.
Yeah, Chili Duncan got second, 8 tenths in front of yours truly. And the end of this one is crazy. I got it on video. I had the lead. My truck got squirrely, and I bounced off the pipe like that ride at Disneyland where you just bounce off the sides.
Yeah.
Everybody caught back up. Chili dropped a fender on me after the big double in the back, and then I dropped a fender on him right before the triple, and pushed both of us out of the way for Dustin to come around. And then on the last turn before the loop, I tried to get on the inside, and it's been a while since I've raced short course truck, so I remember now that you can rub to a point, but at one point, if you rub too much, your front fenders or whatever gets caught up on the rear bumpers. And that's what I did. I basically got stuck on Chili's rear bumper, and so then when we got separated, that's when he crossed the line in front of me, which is fine. It's slash spec. It was fun.
Yeah.
Ben Ford finished 4th. TJ Williams also brought his slash, finished 5th. And Tom Baker, who also bought his slash that day, finished 6th. So that was pretty awesome. Then we had Stadium Truck and Pro 4. We had Pro 4, and this one, let's see. Ashley McCormick was again your TQ, but I don't know. I can't remember what happened to him, but he was done at the 5-minute mark. Easton McCormick, though, was right there to take up the slack, so he took the win. Chad Irwin finished 2nd. Tyler Fleming finished 3rd. Chad Irwin's like, dude, this is the first time I've ever been on the podium for podium pictures. As long as he'd been running there, I can't believe that, but that's what he said. Chad Irwin's been racing at the Plex since like 2012.
Really?
Yeah. Ben Ford was fourth. Ashton McCormick finished fifth, even with breaking out. Addison Holderman, which was his first time at the Plex, finished sixth. Pat Sherkamp was there, racing Pro 4, coming out of the woodwork, finished seventh. And Diego was eighth, and TJ was racing his slash 4x4, but I think it broke before the race started, I think, is what happened. And then stadium truck, we had to put mod and stock together, so they got scored differently, but it saved us trying to find marshals for two guys or whatever.
Right.
Alex Vanderbeek in mod took the win, 15.6 flat. And Jason Haley officially finished second in mod with 11 at 6:08.
Wow. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Considering he hasn't raced in like 2 months. 3
And
months.
mod truck too.
Yeah.
TJ Williams got the win in truck.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
in
good.
13.5. Jake Poteet was second, and let's see. Yeah, was second, and Ben Ford was third. Chili Duncan was fourth, and Tyler Fleming broke out and got fifth. And then you had Mini Truggy, and Mini Truggy Dustin Hosick got the TQ and win. I think he's the only TQ that actually won that on Saturday.
Oh, really?
Yes. Easton McCormick was second. Emerson was third. Ben was fourth. Chad Irwin was fifth. Jason Morey was sixth. I still have his asterisk next to his name for the Independent Series. That's kind of funny. Brian Morey was seventh, which was established in 2013, by the way.
Yeah.
Brian Morey was seventh. Tom Baker was eighth. And Jake Poteet was ninth.
Nice.
Dustin had a pretty good race. His truck looks really good. Emerson plugged his speed controller in backwards right before the start of the race.
Oh, perfect. Let all the speed out of it.
So I was kind of hot, and I think I left the mic on, so I think everybody heard me give my son like a...
What are you doing?
Yeah, I think everybody heard me give my son kind of a tongue lashing.
Yeah.
Because I literally, so the problem was he wasn't focused. He was working on his drag car body. So he was upstairs. So he was making everybody wait for this race to start. And I should have just gone without him, but I'm like, no, come on, you got to get down here. So on the microphone, I said on the mic, don't plug your speed controller in backwards.
What?
And then 2 minutes later, him and Riley are coming in, and Emerson's like, can you plug this in? I'm scared. And I'm like, and then I went, what's that smell? I'm like, did you plug it in backwards? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, are you kidding me? And yeah. So then I was kind of mad because I was like, man, I can't afford to buy you a speed controller for this thing, you know? But luckily, we just cut the capacitor off and it still worked. So it's fine.
Which truck was it?
His Mini Truggy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the one that he's doing really good with.
Yeah. God, just breaking everything on that thing.
I was pretty upset. But it all worked out. It's fine. So there you go. So that's the first ever Saturday Truck Series. Rome wasn't built in a day. I'm not disappointed with 44 entries in any way, shape, or form. We had full heats. A lot of guys were running back to back, so we kind of had to beg and borrow and steal for quarter marshals, you know. But it's fine. It was a fun day. It was a really fun day, and it actually was kind of nice because then Emerson and I could get out of there and work on our drag cars for the following day.
Yeah, and get a new speed control.
Yeah. Okay, so you're working on your e-buggy, and you've already got your gas truck done?
Gas truck is done. If you look at my Facebook, or my Instagram. Instagram? Yeah, that's Instagram, yeah.
Yeah.
If you look on my social media that I'm a part of, I have video of it running and some photos of it, so check that out.
Nice.
But it is and we had Chad Parks on, was it like 3 months ago? 2 months ago?
Yeah.
For the gas truck conversion kit that he's making, the Ignite RC one, and here's mine. Well, this one is actually Jason Haley's.
Right.
Mine actually just showed up today, like when I got home. Mine, like, I don't know if it got lost in shipping or was super. Of course, like if something's going to be late or screwed up, it's going to be mine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, here's mine.
Looks good.
It's pretty trick. I'm running an OS TZ 0.12 engine in this that belonged to a very good friend of mine. And gas truck is like one of my all-time favorite classes, and I wish we got to race it more. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping it comes back. But yeah, I shook this thing down out in my driveway. I was just kind of beating on it actually, just to make sure like everything was set up right, and not squawking and making a bunch of noise. And I just had some old slicked out J Concepts Gold tires, so the video you see is actually me driving it with slicks on it, and it still had plenty of grip and was moving around really good.
Yeah.
The build was actually was pretty decent. I ended up putting a slide carb on it, and my rotary carburetor, I don't know if there's something wrong with it or what, but it catches. And when you give full brake, the stop or the idle doesn't work anymore, the idle screw. So I don't know if there's something wrong with my rotary carb or whatever, but this seemed plenty smooth once I got it kind of rolling and warmed up and had a good tune on it, because it's safe to say I might be a better tuner than I was 10 years ago on a nitro engine. But, it went together pretty easy. I'm actually using a ProTech battery because I didn't have any other batteries. The Reedy ones are out of stock, so
Yeah.
I got a ProTech one in there that fit. I didn't have to modify anything. The only thing I had to modify was the rear arm to clear the spur gear. So it didn't drag at full suspension. You just have to put a notch in it.
I vaguely remember the GT2 having a problem with that.
Yeah.
Where in the middle of a race you'd lose a spur gear because your arm would rub on it.
Yeah. So I
That was a
took
long
care of
time
that.
ago.
I put a T5M or a B5 ball link here on the servo arm, so there's no issue. Everything's Loctited and double nutted like crazy. And I have that all steel transmission in this one, like the idler and the diff gear. So I mean, it should be built for durability.
Yeah.
And I'm running. This is actually a big shout out or thanks to Kyle Gannon and Kara Gannon, because they gave me Kara's T6.1. If I didn't have that, I would.
To donate. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I had everything. I was really methodical going through the manual. Didn't have everything. So this is actually a 6.1 rear end and a 6.2 front end.
Right.
Because I wanted the gull wing on this thing.
Right.
Instead of the flat arm. So, but I mean, it drove really well in my driveway.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it to the Plex tomorrow and run it.
So I looked today and it looks like there's 5 people signed up for Gas Truck right now. But I think they're going to have more, because I know they have more than that on a regular basis. The local Kansas City scene. And so I bet you they'll have more.
I'm thinking 10 to 15.
I'm thinking
if
10.
I had to guess.
I bet you there's 8 or 9.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be I don't think there'll be 2 heats.
They have 8 or 9 at a club race or at their truck series.
Yeah, but this is a roar race.
What's the difference?
There's always those guys that are like, screw roar. They discontinued their data. It's one of there's going to be guys who don't want to pay. There'll be guys who spend thousands of dollars on RC cars, but they're pissed that they got to pay $30 to pay Roar to be a member.
Well, it'd be cool if they didn't show up, because then I'd make the main. So. Yeah.
I bet you there's going to be 8 or 9 gas trucks. 8 or 9 is my guess. There's right now there's 2 heats of nitro buggy. I didn't look at truggy, but I know that there's 3 heats of e-buggy. 3 heats worth, unless they put 13 of us all in a race.
3 heats of e-buggy?
Yep. Right now.
I should have been working on my e-buggy harder.
Right? There's only
Dude.
there's only 6 people signed up for 40 plus nitro.
Are you running it?
Hell yeah, I'm running it.
You're running e-buggy too, right?
I'm running 40 plus and e-buggy, and Emerson's running nitro buggy.
Man, I just hope I don't suck at e-buggy.
I thought they were gonna have mini truggy, and then they didn't. So that was gonna be Emerson's second class, but that's fine. It saves me money and entry fees, so it's fine.
Yeah.
And tires. So.
Yeah.
And wear and tear.
Are those? Hey, what tires are those that you got that one time? Are those double Ds?
Double Ds.
Do those have open cell inserts?
Yes.
Can I have those tires?
Sure. I said you could.
Okay. Oh yeah.
You can thank one of our Patreon members, Nick Chestnut.
Yeah. Thanks, Nick.
So.
Man, I should have been working on my e-buggy more.
You'll be fine. We got time.
Mm.
For those of you not in the know, it's going to be Will, me, Emerson, and Jackson all in one camper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna drag my camper down.
That
Friday morning.
camper is going to smell like a giant colon.
Yeah. Well, like, so I actually built my gas truck while we were out camping this weekend. Like I had like the front end and the middle of it built, and like I put the engine in it. Like my wife went to sleep at like 11.
Yeah.
And I was up till like 3 o'clock in the morning every morning, or like every night, like while we were there working on this.
Dude, that's what I'm going to end up
gas
doing
truck
with this video. I want to get this video done so that I can upload it so I can have I can focus on the regional race video next.
Yeah. It's like, what day is it? Monday? Like, oh, that's not enough time.
Crap,
like,
yeah.
I'm worried about running out of time to get stuff
Well,
ready.
that's why I worked on every car in my car a couple weeks ago. They are on the shelf, clean and ready to go. We did all the setup changes that we learned from the Thunder Alley or the Thunder Road race and everything, and they're ready to go. I think I'm going to fire up our nitro truck at maybe Thursday night before we leave for your house, just to make sure.
What pinion gear do you run an e-buggy anymore? Is it like 16?
15 or 16 usually. I think on the Techno I'm running a
15.
I think I undergeared mine.
Okay.
Just a hair.
I went through my gears and I'm missing, I have 13, 14, I'm missing 15 and 16, and I have a 17 and an 18.
We got them at the Plex, so if you come up tomorrow, we got them in stock. You're good.
Oh, I'm coming up tomorrow. Like I just want to break the drivetrain in my e-buggy more than anything.
Yep.
Like I just need to get that thing and make sure it's going to live. Like I didn't screw something up bad.
Yeah. Let's get through the comments and then we'll take off. Unless you got something else.
Okay.
You want to talk about anything else before we do this?
No, just thanks to Jason for letting me trade kits with him. Mine just showed up today, so he's going to get mine. And if he didn't do it, there's no way. There's no way I would have.
Yeah, you would have been stressing out big time.
Yeah. So made the difference. But anyway, that was it.
Okay. So just scrolling through here, they wanted us to talk about the tank thing, which is fine. Did I say Chestnut? I meant Nuthouse. Nick Nuthouse. Who's Nick Chestnut? Isn't there a Chestnut out there?
Noah Chestnut. Yeah, Noah Chestnut's brother.
Oh, okay. God. See, it's 10 o'clock.
Is he listening?
I'm not used to doing this at 10 o'clock. You can thank our Patreon member, Nick Nuthouse, not Nick Chestnut. There is a Nick Chestnut, though, isn't there?
Yeah, I thought that's who you actually got these tires from.
Oh, yeah. No, it's Nuthouse. Or is it Chestnut? God damn it.
I thought it was Chestnut.
Oh, jeez. Now
Nick
I gotta...
Nuthouse or
hold
Chestnut?
Hold
Please
on.
comment. Did we
dude,
get tires?
I'm such a terrible person with names. Yeah, Nick Chestnut. I was right. See? Damn it.
I believe you.
That's kind of quirky that there's a... No, hold on. That's really quirky, though, that there's a Nick Nuthouse and a Nick Chestnut. Like, you can see how I can screw that up, right? It's like Tyler. It's like Tyler Fleming. There's like 3 different Flemings, and I keep getting his name wrong every time that we have a summer series race. But I know it's Tyler Fleming. It's just my brain cannot, for whatever reason, process what's going on. I think my dad had a stroke like a year and a half ago. I think somehow in the cosmic universe, like part of his stroke, like came over and went into my brain.
Your dad had a stroke so bad you felt it?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, man.
Anyways. Okay. Jackson Anderson wanted us to mention that he finished second at NDRC for his race.
Oh, that's good.
Trevor Paul said, "This isn't Nam. Rules are rules."
Yeah,
Jason Haley said maybe they should have handout fuel tanks.
that would not work.
Let's see.
But good idea, though. Good idea. Sorry.
Oh, that's right. They were using a fish tank bubbler to pressure it. The line.
Bit of the old bubbly, huh?
Yeah. A little fish
Wonder
tank.
what-
A fish tank aerator. That's what they said.
So that cannot be
That's not a lot of
crazy
pressure.
amounts of. No.
That's not a lot of
You
pressure.
gonna tell me that's gonna stretch a tank?
Yeah, it's not a lot of pressure.
That's ridiculous. I don't know if I believe it.
Yeah, it's
I'd
tough.
have to see it. I would have to see it. Like, let's put a tank in the oven at 200 degrees, 300 degrees, whatever that tank is in the car, and test it.
Dude, that would. I wonder
That'd
how
be
many.
good.
I wonder how many hits we'd get if we did a
Dude.
YouTube video on that. We should do that.
Yeah.
Totally do that.
Like, just put a tank in the oven, then dump some fuel in it and do that to it.
We should.
See how hot.
Man,
So
that would.
you're gonna. So that thing had to have cooled off to 150 degrees.
Yeah.
So you put a tank in the oven for 10 minutes or a half hour, 45 minutes at 150 degrees, and pull it out, dump fuel in it, and test it and see if it, or even just plug both ends and take a tank bubbler,
Yeah.
and put that on there and see if it stretches.
Kyle I can't even talk. Kyle Alexander wanted to know who was over. Anyone know? It was Ty Tessman and Cole Ogden got disqualified from their semis because of the tank issue.
And you know what? Like in their I do not believe either one of those guys would ever cheat on purpose.
They're not going to do that, especially because it wasn't a fuel mileage game. Nobody could make the amount of time it would have made to eliminate a stop.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody,
Right.
not even Drake. Drake ran out of. He tried to go 10 minutes. He ran out of gas on the 9-minute mark. And he's really one of the few that are known for being able to stretch out, fuel mileage.
Yeah.
Big dude. He was curious about the scuffed wing. So basically, you can take what do we use? Just
Scotch-Brite.
Scotch-Brite, and you scratch your wing so it kind of like darkens it slightly. That's how. That's actually started because that's how you could get around the rule of having a painted wing. It darkened the wing, therefore your wing wasn't totally clear. Apparently, Roar had a rule against completely clear wings because you're supposed to. At one point, our cars were supposed to look like the real thing, which clearly they don't anymore. We didn't even talk about the whole truggy body thing.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot to talk about there because I really didn't care about that.
Yeah, it's truggy.
It's just like the natural progression. Like, if it's better, do it. Like, I don't know. See, that's the thing. Like, they let that kind of go.
Yeah.
But
Trevor Paul, after the super chat, said, "Keep up the good work, fellas. Hope to make it down this summer, but for now, Brian Kern will have to fly the flag for Fort Dodge."
Cool.
Chris Hardison want to know any running video from the race. I think he means the drag race. I'm working on it. So this is the first race that I took my really good camera to, and I have a lot to learn with that because I've been watching a lot of video. And it's kind of shaky. I'm not. I might have been able to do a better video with my phone still, but I'm gonna get there. But I got to edit it all together, and I'll get it out at some point. Hopefully this week. I hope. If not, it's because I didn't have time. They wanted to know about buybacks. Again, the buyback, you could do a buyback after the first round of Outlaw. I'm not sure about the other ones. But you could only do it after the first round. After the first round, you couldn't buy back in anymore. So it's kind of funny. All these cars were there at the start of the day, and then by the semis, like most of them were gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Riley Filbert, yes, I did blame the wind because the wind was crazy. It got crazy. This big black cloud came overhead. It picked up all their tents, and then it stayed that way ever since, and it switched. We were having a south wind, and then we had a big north wind, so the front came through and really changed it, for me at least.
Yeah.
Steve RC, I agree. I should buy a month's supply of Kickstart, which reminds me, as we're getting ready to wrap up here, you can find us now on Patreon. Just search Hobbyplex Show, and we should come up. We have 2 Patreon members. We have Peter Renault, and we have Nick Chestnut. So
Nice.
we appreciate you guys. That's pretty awesome. You know, I haven't promoted it very heavily, but we're out there now. And again, you know, we have a sponsor for this program, but the rest of the Hobbyplex Show YouTube channel, you know, I mean, I do spend a pretty decent amount of my income. Not decent amount. What am I saying? I spend my own money to do stuff for that. So that does kind of help. And plus, Will's got to get paid too. So
Yeah, it'd be nice.
yeah.
Pay's nice.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, give us $5.
Yeah, $5.
Man,
Big
$5.
dude said, make Emerson pay rent. I agree. As soon as he turns 18, if he doesn't pay me rent, he's out of here.
Hmm.
I
Makes sense.
I say that, but I probably would let him slide for a little bit.
Yeah.
Kenneth Freeman
Well,
had
you need a job.
Kenneth Freeman had an idea. He said, pretty sure that shiny new drag car he was running was at least $180. Make him pay you back for it. I agree, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, make him buy it.
John Haas wanted to know how many total entries there were at the drag race. So I didn't get an official count. I think there was 20-something outlaws, 20-something in the breakout, and I know for a fact there was only 9 13.5s.
Dude, yeah. Well, what were you going to say about the drag race?
Oh, just the numbers. I'm pretty sure the numbers I got. I know there was 9 13.5s because I counted when Emerson was first in line.
Yeah. I can't believe you weren't standing there with your hand out when they gave him the money. Like,
No.
okay, now give me like $50.
To be honest with you, I was super excited that he was
Yeah, I
excited. He was really into it. He was more
Yeah.
into this than I'd seen him be into anything in a while.
Well, like, because there's that time that we got that ticket for going through the toll road in California, and somebody bought something from me, and I had like $180 or $200. Like, okay, now give me like 160 of that. I was like, what?
It was only like $90, wasn't it? We split it. Wasn't it like a
I don't know.
$180?
It was expensive.
It was a $180 ticket, I think, or something like that.
Oh, okay.
It was crazy. It was
Yeah.
nuts.
Oh, okay. You're like, all right, now give me 100
Yeah,
of that.
give me 100 of that. Mike Fuller chimed in here. He says, so he was at the race. Mason Fuller made the A main. Mike said they just need to not cut it so close. We ran ours about 4cc lower than legal to leave room for expansion and error. And that's exactly what my point was if you have a history of having issues, or even if you don't, but especially if you have history of having issues with roar, knowing what the rules are, maybe you should take that extra step. I would have been. I'm just saying, you know.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. And then everybody told Mike how awesome his sons are, because Caden did really good too. And yeah, so there you go. And he said they don't cheat; they just run it really close to legal, which is totally true. And that's what a lot of the pros do. They're right on the edge.
Right.
And that's it. That's all the chat stuff. We've been here for a while. My sister's probably really tired. She's been up all day, so she's ready to go home. So
yeah, I'm starving. I'm sure my wife is too.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I wanted to get this in.
Fine.
I was thinking about just canceling tonight's show, but there was so much stuff to talk about, and I really wanted to get to the roar stuff and give my take on it. Let you get your take on it. I really wanted to talk about the drag racing because it was fun. There's just so much stuff to talk about that I really wanted to get it in. So even though we're late, people will watch this back and would agree or disagree about the roar thing. I don't really care, but I just, as somebody that was on the other side of it, on the roar side of it, I just wanted to give my thoughts on how that whole thing worked. So
yeah, you gotta make sure your stuff's right. That's why you're the pros, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's easy to say.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's bail. This was Alex Sturgeon with Hobbytown Hobbyplex. As always, this show is sponsored by Pivot Lending Group. Find them at pivotlending.com. and get a hold of Don Zoller or Aiden Olson's dad, and you can get yourself $500 lender credit or 0.125 off your rate on a refinance or a home loan. And we're going to have a lot of fun. I think we're going to do the live show from Will's house on Thursday because Emerson and I are spending the night down there. So I think we're going to do it from there. I'm going to bring my stuff. I might be gluing tires. That might be all I'm doing. But yeah, we're going to leave Friday, and he doesn't want to come. It'd be stupid to come all the way back up to Omaha and then go south. We're just going to go south from Lincoln.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't decided how we're going to. We'll probably we'll work out the logistics of it. But
yeah.
I'm thinking that I'll probably take the camper and get it. I mean, it's ready to go. I mean, we can get water anywhere. It's filled up.
Yeah.
You know, whatever we got to do.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm thinking we just go out to the spot that we store it and go get it in the morning and hook it up and drag it out, and leave.
Riley Filbert, I can't get the slash main up because you didn't video it. He just chimed in. He was supposed to announce the race and video at the same time, and like I do, and he announced the race but did not record the race. So, whatever. Luckily, Chili Duncan did have video of the slash race, and
Chili Duncan coming in clutch.
Yeah, Chili Duncan got it.
Videos.
So on his Iowa RC Tracks is still his YouTube channel, so you can see it on there.
You can also see my Hobby Haven 2012.
Yeah, you can see my
4-wheel drive races.
You can see my Hobby Haven wins on there too. Which, if I ever want to feel good about myself, I go back and watch a couple of those.
Yeah, I do too. Like if I'm having a bad day, I relive 2012, man.
All right, I'll see you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Sorry it's so late, but thank you.
Hey, how many watchers did we have?
I think we had 26.
I was hoping we had more since we were later.
Yeah, I know. Oh well. All right. Bye.
Well, that works.
Yeah.